Hey, what's going on, guys? My name is Joshua and welcome to the first ever Elementor library free goodie tutorial. So in this video, I'm just going to be building a landing page for you, and at the end of the video, I'll include a link to download that landing page completely free. So if you head over to elementorlibrary.com, sign up, and then go to free goodies, you can download all these free goodies completely free once you sign up for a free account. And every single Monday, we're going to be releasing a free goodie, so sign up and just go ahead and take advantage of these awesome landing pages. And anyways, let's hop right over to our Elementor page builder. I've already got it set up here, so let's just jump right in. I'm going to add a new column here, and let me just preface by saying I'm going to build this with a sense that you already know what you're doing in Elementor. So I might include a few tips here and there on design practices and things like that you should be doing, but a lot of you might already be aware of these things, so you just want to take advantage of the free goodie, and I understand. I am not offended by that. So I've got my section there. Let's add some lorem ipsum here. Put it right there. But for those of you who do want to watch the video and learn something, I'll include some tips for you guys. So just to help you out, I'm gonna go into this section up here and add some height, maybe about 85. I'd like it to take up majority of the top fold of the home page, so maybe like 88 perhaps. Okay, good. It's good, but there's still an issue here. We can't really see the text, so I'm gonna go in here and add some background overlay. I don't want it to be black. I'd prefer it to be a little bit lighter, like a softer gray, maybe something like that perhaps is pretty nice looking. Oops. Yeah, that's pretty nice looking right there. Don't you guys think? Okay, fantastic. So we've got that. Let's add a button up here just for call to action. Get started. I'm gonna change this to medium. Let's do large actually. No, let's do medium. Okay. And I'm gonna change the background color to some type of green. I don't know, maybe like a minty green color. Yeah, that's pretty nice actually. I got lucky there. That's a cool color. So let's do that. And I'm gonna add some space in between these two elements here, just a little bit, maybe like 10. Okay, so that's looking pretty good. So let's move on to the next section here. I don't want to make this video too long, so I'll try to speed my way through here without losing you guys, of course. So what I'll do is add some margin on the top and bottom. And the reason I do that is because I see a lot of people, when they build their websites, they're not very generous with their spacing. And what I mean is, you'll end up going to a website and you'll see people having sections way too close. So for example, if I were to take away this margin, I see a lot of people, believe it or not, doing this type of stuff, where it's like the bottom, the sections are flush against each other, and that doesn't work. You have to add some space. Give the section some breathing room. Jeez, we love to look at sites like Apple or Slack's website's pretty cool looking, and we look at those sites and we think, oh my gosh, they're so beautiful, like I wonder how they do it. Well, they're just following basic design rules. There's nothing really out of the box, extraordinary that they're doing. They're just following basic design rules. So if we can just stick close to the same design rules, then we can make great sites like like those designers do, right? This doesn't require some degree in design. You just get a little practice and you'll be making great websites in no time. Okay, and fortunately Elementor makes it super easy, and yeah, so this video, by the way, this video is not in any way, shape, or form to advertise for Elementor. I just use it, and that's the purpose of Elementor library, is to sell you beautiful pre-built templates. Anyways, I digress. Let me add a nested column in here, if I can get it in there. Oh, I'm not sure why it's glitching up like that. Let's switch these around though. Okay, that didn't actually add, so let me try that again here. And put that back on top. So what I'll do is go into my widgets and add an image box in here. Put this on the left side. You'll notice that I've got all my assets already added in. That's just to help make the video go back quicker. So I've already added all the assets and everything. Decrease that size to about maybe 6, and let's increase this to about 25. Come down here to content so we can change this default blue to our light gray, or black, whatever you want to call that. It's not black, it's light gray, but let's go back in here, change this size to about 18. I'm gonna change the weight as well to 500, and let's actually bump this up to 20. And then we'll go down to the description, leave that as the default color, but we'll bump this up to 16. So that's looking pretty good right there, except I'm going to delete this text where it says click edit button to change this text. Let's delete that, and we'll just stick with the lorem ipsum here. So that's looking pretty fantastic. I don't know what you guys think, but I'm loving it. Let's do that. I'm gonna add a column gap here of wider, just to give this some more space here. And let's change this out for this one. I'm just gonna duplicate that one more time and add these in as well. Okay, so that's looking pretty good right there, and this is our feature section. So you see how quick we just built that? So we've got the top right here. I'm using 2 different colors. We've got our primary color, this minty green, and our secondary color is this orange. These 2 colors go quite well together. So we've got that and that so far. Let's just keep going. Let's just keep pushing along. I'm gonna add a new section here. Except for this one, I'm gonna change the background color to some type of very light, subtle gray color. Maybe F7. Well, we can't see it until we add something, but I'm gonna add some padding in this section up here, 80/80. And just to make this quicker, I'm gonna paste this in here. I'll paste the subtext as well. But just to help differentiate these sections, I'm gonna delete some of the text just to make it shorter. I'll do the same thing for the subtext. Okay, let's delete that word too. Yeah, there we go. So we've got that there, and for this one, this is just gonna be a basic content box or a basic content section. So I'll add a nested column and I'll put some text in here. I'm gonna duplicate that though, and you'll see why in a second. So let's get rid of this I am a text block and just put 1 here. Come into this text widget, do the same thing, except 2, and then I'll do 3 as well. 3. Okay, beautiful. So let me add an image into the right column here, and I'm gonna add my flat iPhone that I've built, and I'm gonna include this inside of the actual download file for you guys, this mock-up, so that you can change the screen to whatever you want. I'm gonna put this a little bit bigger, and you'll see why in a second. I'm gonna decrease the container width of this nested column to about 900. And then I'm gonna add some padding around this column. So you can see it's kind of coming along. It's not quite interesting yet, so let's just keep going. I'm gonna add a white background in this top section up here, this top widget text. Background, let's go white. Well, I'm not gonna make it completely white, just very, let's see how F9 looks. Nope, still too light. Let's try FC. Better, okay. And let's add, I don't know why I keep speaking in third person. I mean, I guess if you're following along, then it would make sense, but so we got the padding in there. That's looking a lot better. I'm gonna add a border though. Oops, let's do this instead. Let's make the radius 6 and the width 1. You don't want the border to be too dark. If it's like pure black, for example, that just looks silly. Unless that's the aesthetic that you're going for, but we want ours to be a lot more subtle. So let's take it down, and I would say even a little bit more too. So that looks pretty good right there. Something still doesn't look right about this though, and I think it's because these numbers right here aren't lined up. And so what I'll do is add the same padding on the bottom text widget that I did for the top one. So that looks better already, don't you think? Okay, so this is looking pretty good right here. I might call this section done. I don't know. Let me just decrease or increase this to maybe 1,000. Oh, and I'm gonna center this in the middle. Maybe. No, let's leave it at the top. Except let me decrease the size. Oh, you know what? I know exactly what it's missing. I know. So let's do this instead. That's what it's missing. Okay. Now we're talking. Now we're getting somewhere. Except let me increase this to 80. I'm gonna add some more lorem ipsum into these numbers right here because it's just a little bit too small. It looks a little bit too bare. So let's add some lorem ipsum right there and right here, like that, and maybe even in this top one as well. Let's see how that looks. It's looking better. You know what? I know exactly what it's missing. Let's add maybe the first part. Let's have it be bold, perhaps. So you see how much better that looks already? Except let's do it for these two as well. So let's bold and let's bold. So look at how much better that looks. It's important that you guys are adding contrast into your elements just to help make certain things pop. It just makes it a lot more interesting to look at. So let's do this really quick. I'm gonna come into here and then decrease the top padding to maybe about 30. That's better. I don't want it to be too far down. I want it to sort of line up with this iPhone here. So that's looking good. Let's just move on to the next one. So what I'll do is copy this section up here so that I don't have to go and redo all of my margin and stuff like that. So for this one, I'm gonna create a blurb section. Once again, just to help differentiate between the sections. And I'll delete these two nested columns, but I will add back a nested column, except this time I'll have 3 of them. Let's go into this left column here and add an image. Oh, let's add an image right here, right there. Center, size, cover, and let's see. I'll copy this subheader, put it in there, make it white, and maybe increase the weight to about 500. Okay, so now we're getting somewhere, but you can see that there's still something wrong. It's too small and you really can't see the text that well. So I'll do 2 things. The first thing I'll do is add some padding within the box right here, and then unlink that, put 80 at the top, 80 at the bottom. So that's looking good now, right? But I might even do it a little bit more. Let's go 90. I'm gonna go back up to the top here and grab my background overlay. And yeah, okay. And then come back into my column down here, go to background overlay, boom. So that looks better, doesn't it? Except I might even just decrease that a little bit. Let's do that instead. So just for continuity, I'm gonna come back up to the top and change the overlay on this top section to the same thing, just so there's some consistency there. So I want this to, when you hover, it's not as interesting right now. I want this to maybe perhaps get a little bit darker when you hover over it, just so it's like interacting with you a little bit more. So let's go into background overlay, hover, add the same text or the same hex code, except make this one just a little bit darker. We'll start off with maybe 60, and let's see how this looks. I like that. That looks good. what I'll do is also add some margin around this box. You'll see why in a second. I'm gonna duplicate this twice, delete these last two columns. So that's why we added the margin. If we didn't, these would be flush up against each other, but now there's space in between each one, okay? And then I'll just duplicate this nested column 2 times. So then I'll just go into each column and change the image starting with the bottom, working my way up. And so there's that. So I just went ahead and fast forwarded that for you guys. So we've got that finished. This is looking fantastic right here. I don't know what you guys think, but I think it looks great. I'm loving it, okay? On to the next one. I'm gonna copy this section, paste it below. And let's see, we'll make this one maybe like a testimonial section. So I'm gonna delete this, go back to my lorem ipsum. Let's get some fresh lorem ipsum in here. Paste that in there. Okay, so I'll add another nested column. Maybe add some space here. Just a little bit, it doesn't have to be a lot. Let's just do 10. And I'm going to add an image into the background of this column here. We'll add her, center, cover, and add some spacing in here just so we can actually see the image. Increase that to about 500. Let's go back into this column and change this to the same color as this background overlay, except it's gonna be a solid color this time. So let's add that, and I'm gonna copy this here, paste that in there. So we've got the background. I'll go back and grab some more lorem ipsum. Since this is a quote, it'll be a lot bigger, more text. Boom, add the quotations, and let's add a period here. Let's add her name. Let's just do Sarah Jones, something generic. I'll left align this and decrease the weight to about 400. And I want to add some padding around this so that it's not so flush up against the edges here. So that's looking really good already. For this particular column, I'm gonna put the content in the middle. That looks a lot better right there, okay? So, still missing something though. Let me add some other content right beneath it. I'll copy this right here and paste it here, but I'm just gonna pull it down here. I wanna add some space as well, so I'll duplicate the spacer and put it underneath right there. Just grab some more lorem ipsum here. Okay, and I'll go back up to the top and grab this button just to make it easy for myself. There's no use in redoing the button style and everything, just copy and paste. Elementor has this new feature now, so take advantage of that. I'll change this to see more, not Seymour Jones, but just see more. All right, that's looking really good now. I'm liking that a lot, okay? I'm gonna add one more section, a call to action, and I'm gonna make the call to action the same color as the button, which is our primary color for this particular landing page. So I've got the color in there. Let's add some padding at the top and bottom. And I'll just grab this header again, paste it right in there, change it to white. And I'll grab this sub text here, paste that in there as well. For now, let's just leave it there, but I'm gonna copy and paste this button just so the button's in there. And I'll do get started now. Except obviously we can't leave this as the same background as the call to action, so we'll change the text to white and we'll add a white border here, just 1 pixel in width, white. So that looks a lot better than just the green one that you can't see, obviously. I'm gonna add some text here at the top, and I'll just make this, I don't know what you would call this, but make it a little bit smaller, have the weight be sort of like an astronomical number, uppercase, letter spacing 3, and let's change it to white. So this is not going to work because there's no contrast here, as you can see. So instead of making it really heavy, I'm just going to make it light and try to maybe match it with the weight of the button border. So that looks better already, but you can see we've got some spacing issues here. So I'm going to copy this spacer up here, paste it right below just to create some more space right here, and let's see how that looks. So that looks 10 times better already just by adding that space. You see how much that does for this section? Such a big difference, okay? Let's update this and take a look at the front end. Okay, so we've got our top hero header up here above the fold. And if you start scrolling, we've got our features section, which talks about, you know, some of the things in the business. I'm gonna change this to lorem ipsum just for you guys. Then we've got the content section, and this is looking pretty good. Next, we've got the blurb section with the cool subtle hover effect. Then we've got the testimonial section, which is looking pretty good. And finally, the call to action section. And underneath that, you would have your footer, obviously, but we'll not do that for this landing section. What I'll do really quick is copy this and add this up here to the top. There we go. So that's looking really good right there. Okay, I like that a lot. And we got the same thing at the bottom. So, alright guys, so that's gonna wrap it up for this video here. This landing page is looking pretty fantastic, I would have to say, and it's available to download completely free at elementorlibrary.com. Just head over here to the website, sign up for a completely free account, and get this template downloaded. You can use it for anything. Use it for a client project, use it for a personal project, or just keep it in your back pocket for some web development that you do later on in the future, okay? So all these templates are completely free to download with a free account on elementorlibrary.com. We've also got some premium collections if you want to download those, which just contain a lot more content. So definitely share this website with your friends, and if you haven't already, subscribe to our YouTube channel. And that's gonna wrap it up for today's video, guys. So I'll be back next week with another Elementor Library free goodie tutorial video where we will go through and create another free goodie for you guys to download. So until next time, happy creating, take care.